Hey, Rob Pincus here. I literally just got done with the 2020 NRA Members meeting out here in Tucson, Arizona. You have been watching me, maybe I still have my jacket on, maybe I still have my tie on, I don't know. You've been watching me and Chris and Cheryl talk about gun rights and introduce you to some of the most amazing gun rights advocates that we have in the community. And I hope you're getting inspired. And just in case I've lost the feed or in case the Wi-Fi here wasn't so great, I really wanted to record this so that you understand what I personally think you should do next. And that's become an advocate. You may already be an advocate. Become a better advocate. Advocate more. Become a better face for the Second Amendment. Hopefully you're getting inspired by the speakers we have here. Hopefully you're getting inspired by the stories you're hearing, by the examples they're setting. You're realizing you've got some great ideas coming your way. I'm gonna give you a couple more ideas. Here you go, idea number one. Look for opportunities to be a proud American gun owner. If somebody asks you if you own guns, say yes. Don't worry about how they're going to weaponize it, how they're going to use it against you. If you're not doing anything wrong, if you're proud of being an American gun owner, be proud of being an American gun owner. If someone says to you, I'm not sure about guns, but, what do you think? Tell them what you think, but be open to why they're not sure. So you don't have to say, well, I don't need to talk to you because you're not on my team. What you need to say is, let me talk to you about it. Like, what are your concerns? Maybe try to understand them first and then share your thoughts. Respond to what they're actually concerned about. Because I'll tell you, saying things like, well, it's our natural right, obviously isn't going to sway them because they don't feel that way. We have some work to do. When you talk to people about gun rights, one of the things from outside of the gun community that I've found to work really well is to remind them that gun culture and gun owners, it's a lot like car culture in the United States. It's not any one thing, right? People can acknowledge it and say, okay, I get it. There's people who like cars. We need cars. We use cars in America, right? The majority of our population needs cars. They use cars all the time. But there's a huge part of our population that also likes them, right? And you know what I'm talking about right away, but you don't know for sure. Am I talking about the people that like the sports cars or people that like luxury sedans? Or am I talking about off-roaders? And inside of off-roaders, there's a whole bunch of contention, right? Are you a Toyota guy or are you a Jeep guy? And if you're a Jeep guy, well, I hope you don't have a YJ, right? We know that it gets very cliquish, it gets very contentious sometimes inside a car world, and it does the same thing inside a gun world. So there's lots of different types of car people, automobile people. There's lots of different types of racing that gets done. There's lots of different types of shooting that gets done. And that's really important to remember. Make sure that people understand that you can't pretend to speak for all American gun owners. You can speak for yourself. You can speak about American gun owners being diverse and being responsible. That's incredibly important. NSSF started up Gun Owners Care last year, gunownerscare.com. You can check that out. And it really was supposed to be a celebration of things like Walk the Talk America, a celebration of things like training and safety programs, like the huge growth of training and education that comes from organizations over the last 20, 30 years. As concealed carry has grown, so has the training community. And we now see hundreds of national level instructors, whereas there were maybe 10 or 12 30 or 40 years ago. We see schools in every city, in almost every county. You can go get a range class. You can get a formal class for your concealed carry permit in the country, whereas that just wasn't the case 20 or 30 years ago. So we've made huge strides, and a lot of it has made us more responsible. We understand we need to talk about mental health issues. We need to talk about suicide prevention. We need to talk about negligence. We need to talk about preventing all of the negative outcomes that go along with firearms ownership. Preventing them is our responsibility. And if we don't acknowledge them, if we don't talk to other people about them, then we might be seeming to be complacent or seeming to not care. Gun owners do care. Being a responsible gun owner is the simplest and easiest way for you to be a very effective, very clearly pro-gun, responsible gun owner and a gun rights advocate. And I think that's really the important part. You can be pro-gun and you can talk about responsibility. You can be pro-gun and be a gun rights advocate and talk about risk mitigation. That risk mitigation is incredibly important. And some of that risk is also trauma. Because if you've lost anyone or you know people who've lost people to firearms involved suicide or to firearms involved negligence, well then you know what that trauma can be like. And sometimes I'm afraid that we deny that can even happen. It won't happen to us. I've been around guns all my life. It won't happen to my kids. They've been raised around guns all their lives. Won't happen to my parents. They've had guns all their lives. Nah, we don't let them drive anymore, but they still have their guns. We really need to think about the responsibility factor in our advocacy. Because as I always say, if we do not demonstrate responsibility, there are plenty of people out there who will try to legislate their version of responsibility upon us. Thank you for watching the 2A rally. I'm going to go back to my live feed, and you're going to see me in a second. And again, I don't know, I feel like I'm not going to be wearing this tie or this jacket by the time you see this. Enjoy the rest of the rally, and go out there and be a great gun rights advocate. Thank you.